Do you know that a brilliant industrial engineer at Toyota, Taiichi Ono, got inspired by supermarkets that revolutionized the way we think about workflow? It's like grocery store of efficiency, only restocking what's needed and when it's needed. And they call it Kanban. And it's not just about manufacturing, it's a game changer in optimizing processes across the board. Before we move on and learn more about Kanban, I request you guys that do not forget to hit the subscribe button and click the bell icon for further updates. Here's the agenda for today's session. We'll start our session with what is Kanban. After that, we will discuss the history of Kanban. Moving ahead, we will study about Kanban principles. After that, we will delve into the 6 Kanban practices. And finally, we will conclude our session with a discussion on when a team should use Kanban. Certified Scrum Master Certification Training Course. Some of the key features of this course include 2-day online virtual classes, 2-year membership with Scrum Alliance, 20 PDUs, and 16 SEUs include CSM exam fees as well. By the end of this course, you will be skilled with Scrum and Agile methodologies, importance of Agile Scrum lifecycle, Scrum terminologies, daily Scrum, and review rules involved in Scrum and distributed Scrum. So hurry up and enroll now. Find the course links in the description box. Listen to our happy learners what they had to say about our courses. Find the link of Simplilearn reviews in the description box. So guys, let's start with what is Kanban. Alright, imagine you're running a kitchen and you have got different dishes to prepare, ingredients to manage, and chefs working on different tasks. Now think of Kanban as your super organized kitchen. In the Kanban world, you have cards for each dish representing tasks. These cards move across your whiteboard in different columns, such as to do, in progress, and done. Each column signifies a stage in the cooking process. If a chef is whipping up a lasagna, the card starts in to do, and when the order comes in, as they start cooking, it moves to in progress. And when it's ready to serve, it lands in the done column. The magic here is, guys, that you can see everything at a glance. No chaos, no guessing. And if a chef finishes one dish and has capacity, they can grab another to-do card. It's like dance of efficiency. Kanban isn't just for kitchens. It's actually a project management philosophy. Whether you are developing software, planning events, or organizing a team project, Kanban helps things flowing smoothly. It's about visualizing work, limiting work in progress, and maximizing the efficiency. Now, let us say what is a technical definition of Kanban. Kanban is an organizational approach designed to enhance the teamwork and productivity. And it employs visual representations of project workflows, offering team members a clear understanding of where their tasks fit in the broader context. The visual display ensures that the entire team has transparency in the workflow, aiming to eradicate duplication and unnecessary efforts while promoting continuous delivery. Now let's move on and discuss the history of Kanban. During the early 1940s in Japan, Toyota Automotive faced stiff competition from its American counterparts and sought to enhance the efficiency of its production processes. A critical challenge was the substantial and costly accumulation of stock inventory, including raw materials and unfinished items, and any items remaining in the inventory instead of progressing to the next production stage or reaching the final customer were deemed wasteful. In response to this challenge, Taiichi Ohno, an industrial engineer at Toyota, drew inspirations from supermarkets. Observing that supermarkets restock products only after customers have purchased most of the available item, Ohno envisioned applying a similar principle to Toyota's production chain. He proposed that the rate of one production process should determine the demand for preceding process through the entire chain. To implement this concept, visual signals in the form of cards were introduced to trigger specific actions. For instance, an empty raw materials container with a card would signal the need to replenish those raw materials. These visual cues became the basis for the term Kanban, symbolizing a system where visual signals guide and optimize the flow of production processes. Now let's move on and discuss about the principles of Kanban. The first thing is, start with what you know. Start by looking at what you are currently doing. That's where Kanban comes in handy. It values your existing processes. At the beginning of a project, experts in change management use Kanban to figure out any issues affecting how things are done. Kanbans help you check your workflow, roles, job titles, communication, and everything. This way, you can make things work better, save money, and pinpoint areas for improvement. Because Kanban makes things clear, you can track how your changes pay off over the time and see the impact of making things better. This transparency also makes it easier to work with other managers and teams. They can quickly understand why changes are needed, making collaboration smoother. The next is agree to pursue incremental and evolutionary change. Continuous improvement is a crucial idea in Kanban, much like Agile and Scrum methodologies. All three share the practice of bringing about changes gradually and steadily in small steps. This approach is valuable because it reduces disruptions and makes the entire changes process easier to handle. Implementing big changes can be tough and might face resistance internally. Senior management could worry about the cost, and project teams might fear that altering how they work would affect their productivity. Kanban is aware of this challenge and highlights the importance of making small and continuous improvements over the time. This way, it acknowledges the need for manageable and incremental change to overcome the potential obstacles and resistance within an organization. The next is respect the current process, roles, responsibilities, and titles. Respecting existing practices is the key to emphasizing that Kanban won't cause excessive disruptions or entirely overhaul established ways of working, especially if those methods are effective. This instance positions Kanban as a cooperative and collaborative way to enhance existing processes without fundamentally shaking up how an organization operates. This approach is quite crucial for gaining support for Kanban, especially in environments where teams are attached to the established practices. It proves especially helpful in larger organizations where changes tend to be slower, and there are more people to convince of the benefits of adopting Kanban. By being respectful and considerate of the current operating models, Kanban becomes an approachable and adaptable solution for organizations aiming to improve without causing unnecessary upheaval. The next is encourage the acts of leadership at all the levels in your organization. Kanban puts a spotlight on collaboration, allowing anyone in the team to set up and tackle a problem. Thanks to the transparency it offers, every team member should feel confident in taking action backed by a solid data. This supportive culture empowers team members to take initiative, embrace risks, and experience growth both professionally and personally. In essence, Kanban fosters an environment where everyone has the opportunity to contribute, make decisions, and thrive. Now let's move on and discuss about the 6 Kanban practices. Unlike the time-constrained structure of Agile methodologies like Scrum, which follows strict schedules with defined sprints, Kanban operates using a pull system. This means that work begins only when there is a demand for specific deliverable. Evolving from this principle, David Anderson wrote 5 properties where we can identify the following 6 Kanban practices. So you can see there are 3 things on the Kanban board. The first one is to do, the next is in progress, and the third thing is done. Okay. So now you can see how the Kanban operates. So here you can see a small simulation of the Kanban board. Now let's move on and understand about the 6 Kanban practices. The first thing that comes up in my mind is visualize the workflow and business risks. Boosting visibility in your workflow is essential for pinpointing areas that require enhancements. Kanban board act as a visual representation showcasing the status of work items, what's in progress, what is done, and what hasn't started. This visual aid enables you and your team to comprehend the journey from request to completion, identifying areas for optimization in your workflow. Think of Kanban boards like project dashboards, aiming to provide maximum visibility in an easily understandable format. The concept is to present information clearly, much like a digital Kanban board in Teamhood. The second is limit work in progress. The ultimate aim of employing Kanban board is to optimize the projects by eliminating unnecessary time and resource wastage. Key to this efficiency is the implementation of Kanban work in progress limits. These limits are critical as they define the maximum workload allowed in a workflow. Work in progress limits functions by putting a cap on the number of work items that can be in progress simultaneously. This establishes a pull system, ensuring that new tasks are only initiated when there is sufficient capacity to handle them. On a Kanban board, work in progress limits are visually represented as numerical values, assigned to different statuses or columns, thus providing a clear indication of the workload constraints at each stage of the workflow. This approach streamlines processes, prevents overload, and promotes a more controlled and efficient project progression. Next is manage the flow. The Kanban board serves as a visual tool to track the movement of work from one column to the next. Thus, emphasizing the flow of tasks through these columns brings attention to the potential bottlenecks. This approach empowers managers to concentrate on smoothing out interruptions in the standard flow and identifying areas that may require some additional resources. By actively managing the flow, the next is manage flow. The Kanban board serves as a visual tool to track movement of work from one column to the next, emphasizing the flow of tasks through these columns, which brings attention to the potential bottlenecks. This approach empowers managers to concentrate on smoothing out interruptions in the standard flow and identifying areas that may require additional resources. By actively managing the flow, teams can enhance the overall efficiency and address issues promptly to ensure a smoother progression of tasks. The next one is make policies explicit. Define, publish, and share what your processes and policies are. This ensures that everyone on your team comprehends how work is conducted and what goals are. By establishing clarity, you can guarantee that everyone is aligned when proposing improvements. This approach also contributes to maintaining objective and dispassionate team discussions, preventing emotions and subjective viewpoints from unduly influencing the decision-making process. Next is implementing the feedback loops. The Kanban method promotes small, continuous, incremental, and evolutionary changes. As I have told you earlier, determining these necessary changes relies on establishing reliable feedback loops. In Kanban, feedback is collected at various project stages, whether during meetings, delivery, operational activities, or risk reviews. The specific points for collecting input and the frequency are typically tailored to project's nature and what works best for your team. This flexible approach ensures that feedback is consistently integrated, thus allowing for informed and adaptive adjustments throughout the project. Next is improve collaboratively and evolve experimentally. Collaborative improvement and the ongoing evolution stand out as the fundamental principles in Kanban. David Anderson, who wrote a book on the 6 Kanban principles, in his books underscores the significance of team, proposing a shared knowledge and a unified understanding of problems. He advocates for adoption of scientific model encompassing experimentation, analysis, and continuous improvement. Anderson suggests that exploring established models such as the theory of constraints, theory of profound knowledge, and the lean economic model. Implementing one of these proven models facilitates the measurement of outcomes and help mitigate the risk associated with change. By incorporating these models into Kanban approach, teams can systematically identify constraints, deepen their understanding of problems, and methodically work towards effective solution. This scientific model-driven mindset enhances the adaptability and success of Kanban-driven initiatives. Now, the biggest question comes up in our mind. That is, when to use Kanban. Kanban is particularly well suited for various scenarios and environments. Here are some situations where using Kanban can be highly effective. The first one is continuous workflow. Kanban is excellent for processes with a continuous flow of work where tasks don't fit neatly into fixed iterations or sprint. The next one is variable workloads. In situations where workloads fluctuate and priorities may change frequently, Kanban's flexibility allows teams to adapt it swiftly. The next is service-oriented task. Kanban is widely used in service-oriented industries where work items are often unique and require diverse skill set. Next one is the visual management. If I talk about visual management, visualizing work and creating transparency in the workflow are priorities. Kanban's visual boards make it easy to understand the status of tasks at a glance. Next is continuous improvement. If I talk about continuous improvement, Kanban's emphasis on incremental changes and feedback loops make it well suited for environments that prioritize continuous improvement and evolution. Next is if there comes an unpredictable work. When work items are unpredictable and arrive sporadically, Kanban's pull system ensures that team only take on the new task when they have the capacity to. The next one is maintenance and support. When your project needs maintenance and support, in that case, you can use Kanban. And finally, if there is parallel development going on along with some other task, then applying Kanban can be an amazing solution to your project management. Now, in conclusion, if I have to say something, Kanban stands as a versatile and effective methodology which is well suited for dynamic environments, requiring adaptability and continuous improvement. Its emphasis on visualizing workflows, managing flow, and implementing small incremental changes fosters efficiency. Kanban's applicability to various industries from service-oriented tasks to parallel development projects makes it a valuable tool for the teams who are seeking flexibility and transparency. By encouraging collaboration, shared knowledge, and scientific approach to problem solving, Kanban facilitates not only project success but also a culture of continuous evolution and improvement. Thank you guys for watching this video on what is Kanban.